All right, so let's take a look at nutrition and metabolism. All right, so first of all, what we all need for energy is ATP. So this you should remember from biology. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. And basically what happens is it is, I'll just say, an adenosine here with 3 phosphates attached. And those 3 phosphates have high energy bonds in between them. And when you break one off, you are releasing enough energy to do work. And ATP is produced in the mitochondria. That's why we need glucose and oxygen to go into the mitochondria and every cell in the body to create this ATP. So that energy is used to do work. Now, the energy that is available to us in the food that we eat is listed on a package as calories. So really what that calorie is a kilocalorie, and it is a measure of the energy available to you in that food. So there are some calculations here that I want you to know. Carbohydrates can provide about 4 calories or kilocalories per gram of food. All right, so if you eat 1 gram of a carbohydrate, it can give you about 4 kilocalories of energy to do work. If you eat fats, they're going to provide about 9 kilocalories per gram of food. So we can get more energy out of fats than carbohydrates, but carbohydrates are smaller, so they're easier to break down. All right, so we use carbs first, but we can use fats to break down if needed, and they're going to provide for us more energy, but they're harder to break down, so it takes more to do it. All right, so obviously that's why we record calories on the foods that we eat. It tells us how much energy is available. The other things that it usually records on a package label are nutrients. So I'm just going to go over major nutrients and minor nutrients. So major nutrients are the things that you see: carbs, lipids or fats, and proteins. All right, those are our major nutrients. And we know by chemical digestion, carbs get broken down into monosaccharides, lipids into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. But there are also minor nutrients that are listed, and those are things like vitamins. And we know there's like vitamin A, vitamin B, all of those. And those basically serve as coenzymes. They help our enzymes to work. All right, so those are considered minor nutrients that we also need. Minerals, and these could be things like calcium and sodium, all right, and things like that. Our body does also need some of those things, so you'll see those on packages too, so that you know how much you're getting. All right, so those are also listed on packages as far as nutrition labels. All right, so what is metabolism? So when we talk about metabolism, you usually hear someone saying, well, I have a high metabolism. That means I can eat whatever I want, and it doesn't, I never get fat, right? If you have a low metabolism, you tend to gain weight. So metabolism is basically all chemical reactions that occur, including breaking things down and building things in the body. It's both. So through digestion, we break these things down into their components, but then we use those components to build other things in the body. So that is all part of metabolism. And the liver is one of the main organs that helps us metabolize our products, our substances. So basically, straight from the intestines, a lot of our food products go into the liver to be then directed to other areas of the body. So that liver helps us to sort of control those chemical reactions and where those products are going to go. All right, and so the last thing that I want to talk to you here about is this food pyramid. And so this is the new food pyramid. Some of you may have seen it. So I will just sort of drag it up here because it's in the way here. So it's got this person climbing the steps here. So you're supposed to get activity. And at the bottom, it has grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meat and beans. And you can see here that, you can hardly see fats here, but so orange represents grain. So this is the amount that you're supposed to get. Veggies here Fruits, notice that there's less fruits here than veggies because they do have sugars in them. This little yellow here, it's hard to see, but that's fats. All right, we've got dairy products here like milks, and then we've got meat and beans over here. So you can see here, this is supposed to show you in a sort of a daily what you eat. And we may do some analysis of what you eat later on, of how much of each you're supposed to get. Okay, so we're looking at those minor and major nutrients and how much of each you should get. All right, so some measurements of different metabolic rates. So we have a basal metabolic rate. And this is basically what this means is how much energy do I need while I'm at rest? So I'm just going to put energy needed at rest. So what does it take to just fuel my heart beating, my kidneys working, my intestines? Like if I'm just sitting there and all the energy that I need. So the average you can see here is about 60 to 72 kilocalories per hour or calories per hour. And over here, this chart, there is a chart that has men and their height and women and their height. And the average, and this is per day. So this one over here is per hour, and this is per day of what we need just to keep us running. Now, there are factors that affect this. So you can see here that definitely size. All right, that's why they have like the different height. Age can definitely affect this because our metabolism decreases as we get older. You guys are all young and your metabolism is very high, so you can basically eat what you want right now. So that's a good thing, but that metabolism will slow down eventually. And you can see here sex, male versus female does affect. So males can typically have a lot more than females. All right, females tend to not metabolize things as well as males. So there's other things that can factor into that, but this is just what's called basal metabolic rate. Now I'm going to go here and show you quickly. You can, there's a website if you want to put this in and try this out. I have this up here, and you can figure out your basal metabolic rate. Come on. All right, and so here is, all right, so you can figure out your basal metabolic rate. There's all kinds of different things. We're going to come back here later to show you your BMI. But you can put in here whether you're male or female, your height, your weight. I'm not going to put mine in, and how old you are. And it'll tell you whether you're active or not, and you can calculate it, and it'll tell you what your basal metabolic rate should be. So how many calories do I need a day? Okay. Now, we have a total metabolic rate also, and the total metabolic rate is basically energy needed with activity. All right, so how much energy do I need to sustain me, including the activity that I do? So obviously factors that affect this is how much activity and what type of activity and sort of muscle mass, because muscles need more calories than no muscles. So basically here you can see that if my total metabolic rate is equal to the calories I consume, then I'm not gaining or losing weight. If my metabolic rate, so if the energy I needed here and I don't consume as much, then I'm going to lose weight. If I need this much and I consume more, then obviously I'm going to gain. All right. So if you want to stay, your total metabolic rate should be equal to the kilocalories or the calories that you consume every day. Okay. All right. So, last then is obesity. So we have this BMI. So obviously obesity measures, the fat stored. Normal body fat should be between 18 and 24% of your body weight. And I'm going to show you on this website here, there are ways to calculate that. But here is the formula for BMI. You don't necessarily need to know this because most of them you can put into a formula and it'll calculate it for you. But it's weight in pounds times 705 divided by the height in your inches squared. Okay. And so basically, once you figure out your BMI, you are considered underweight if you're below 18.5. Normal weight is here up to about 25. Overweight is here and obese is here. Okay. Now, muscle mass weighs more, and this can play into it. So I'm sure you've all gotten BMI, probably from the school, and I think some of them are pretty crap. But anyway, so you can see here that these over here are healthy ranges for men and women. It's more fat as you get older. You can see that the numbers go up as you get older. But again, if I go back to this website, I'm going to pull it back up because I have the website already up. You can also, if you look here, body mass index, okay, I can put in my male, female, adult, kid, how tall I am, and my pounds, and I can calculate it. Over here, you can actually calculate your percentage of body fat. Here's, I would click female. What's my weight? And then you'd have to do your waist circumference, your wrist circumference, your hip circumference, and your forearm circumference, and calculate it. And it should give you your percentage of body fat. All right. So you can then go back to this page and look at, am I between these numbers, 18 and 24%. Okay. All right, so that basically finishes up the digestive system and the information that you need to know about the digestive system.